You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
Welcome to the RuPaul's Drag Race recap show for All Stars 11, episode 0, titled Meet the Queen's Orange Bracket. That's what I'm calling this. My name's Joe Batanz, and I'm joined, as always, by the Prince of Pretension himself. It's the one, the only, Roberto Mata. Hello, Robert.
It would be the Prince of Pretense, girl.
I meant
Were you not a SAT tutor? Do you not know words?
I made it up on the fly.
Well, you know.
But now I know to call it Prince of Pretense.
I would rather not at all, frankly. But anyways, hello, Jesse. How are you?
But don't you think it kind of fits the bill when you corrected me the way that you did?
There's nothing pretentious about getting language right. Have respect for English.
You don't go on Discord, right?
No, I stopped after that weird situation last year.
Interesting. Good. Anyway,
you talking shit over there?
I don't talk shit. I didn't even mention you.
You literally have lately been putting little Easter eggs in all of your shows for me to find. And I have a good enough time finding them, but they're almost always lies, sister.
Yeah, you know what? I was driving when you messaged me last time. What did I say and what was the context?
Well, one of the latest ones is you're like, I don't know anyone fake except Robert.
I mean,
name a time.
Now?
No, you can call me a lot of things, but fake is not among them.
Okay, go on.
Beef so for real.
But wait, what was the context? Why did I say you were fake?
You were talking about, it was on the T bonus episode with Lori and the dearly beloved and dearly gone too soon, Jay Cito. And I can't remember what you guys were talking about, actually. But I clocked in when I heard my name. As I did that time that you said that I was freaking out about removing something from our last episode of Relaska Thoughts. And I was like, bitch, I literally sent you one text without punctuation kindly requesting a removal.
I believe it was like, I know you're going to get so mad or something. I know you're going to hate me, or I don't remember what it was.
I said, I know you're going to love one last edit for the series. Dripping in sarcasm, actually.
But hold on, straw man.
You're the straw man.
I believe the point of the conversation, though, that you're discussing was more like about how the things you asked to get removed are silly.
Then you should say that and not leave that for inference.
I don't remember what we were talking about.
Well, I suspect that.
Oh, I know what it was. Well, I can't really get into it because it's not been officially announced that Jay's leaving, even though I did announce it.
I'm sorry.
Right now. That's all right. It's whatever. They're gonna figure it out, right? But by the way, for people who are hearing this for the first time, it's after the season. Okay, he's leaving after the season. But what I was going to say, though, is I think Jay said because he doesn't want to reveal too much about himself. Is that what the context of the conversation was?
That was a part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you were going through like your different hosts and thinking, I don't have this problem. You and Lori don't have problems where you don't mind telling stories from your perspective about silly things that happen in your life.
Any story anybody tells from their perspective?
But then I hear you tell stories about me, and I'm like, that is patently false and sensationalized, and I would like to...
Wow.
An opportunity to respond.
Wow. You're opposed to things being sensationalized, and
I am. That's why I love Drag Race.
Yeah,
because everything's very grounded and authentic.
Yeah. God forbid we associate ourselves with sensationalized versions of events. Anyway, hi everybody. We are here to talk about. I'm gonna get a call, fucking text message later. I gotta take that out.
No, I actually just can't wait. I don't know what you're referring to, actually.
We are here to talk about the orange bracket. So we're going to do things a little bit differently this season in that we're not going to do all the Meet the Queens all at one time, because then, in 8 weeks, are you going to remember who we talked about? So we're going to I'm assuming, because they did do it in order graphic design wise on the show. So this is coming with the assumption that the first bracket is orange. Right? But, so that means we're going to be talking about Dawn, Morphine Love Dion, Akaria Davenport, Lucky Stars, Mystique, and Morgan on today's episode.
They did say in the Meet the Queens video that was bracket 1.
Oh, they did? Oh, good. I didn't watch those fucking videos. Crazy?
Oh, girl, are we not recapping that exact video?
No.
I watched it on my way home today.
Oh, well, good. Well, now you have the background. I relied on other sources. I'm not going to rely on their stupid shit. And if a queen comes for me in the workroom, I'm going to tell her like it is.
Say that.
Why should I be the next RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star or something like that? I'm like, okay. Today, I was talking to a friend of mine. He goes, he's straight, doesn't watch RuPaul's Drag Race. And he goes, but I was listening to something, or I don't know what, or who knows what, BBC this. And he goes, they were talking about the winner of UK versus the world, and some Filipina girl won it. I go, I don't know who you're talking about. But I said, I will say, and I will say this with my full chest, the Filipinos have mastered the art of drag.
They're definitely high up there, yeah.
They're very good at it. I told them. I go they're really good at it. So anyway, everything good with you, Robert? Are you missing your little Alaska thoughts there?
Well, it was only been a week, so
Has it only been a week?
Yeah, I mean, it's been, I think, 10 days since we recorded the last episode.
Oh, it feels like forever.
You have plenty of shots in the meantime.
I only talked to Robert on the shows. I don't know how you doing? Everything good?
That's not true in this lifestyle that we share. I'm hood.
Oh, by the way, so Robert and I share a love. I don't even know what the creator's TikTok name is. But we found out we both have a love for this guy's character that he's created named Lou, which
strict old gay.
And Jelani is the name of the creator, but I don't know what his TikTok name is. But I was folding laundry yesterday and going through TikTok, and he was on the live. I'm like, oh, perfect. I can fold laundry to this. And I was a little like, I don't know if disappointed is the right word, but more like, oh, he's better when he's has his curated sketches that he does. I didn't find him as interesting, and I was actually surprised by how I don't know if juvenile is the right word, and I don't know if pedestrian is the right word, but just I feel like the Lou character is so well created that I just assumed there'd be more substance there, if that makes sense.
I have seen a number of his other videos, and most of them are standard tweet type of scenarios that I feel like have kind of been beaten dead by this point. Yeah. But I actually find him quite funny and refreshing. I can't remember the last time I laughed at
in other sketches besides Lou.
Would. Yeah, there are several different ones about I think one that got really popular was when you're all alone in high school with no one to walk the mile with, but then a Latina and the goth girl show up, and he just cracks me up. That's an old ancient joke by now. It's just again been beaten dead. But I found his just physical comedy about it very funny, and just the music choices he made. It just he'll embody straight characters rather often. Straight, you might enjoy this one because you like to talk about it quite a bit. But straight men realizing that all the men commenting on their posts are gay, and the sort of videos they make in response to that.
Yeah, don't get me started on that fucking rant, because it's one of these things. It's one of these things where it's like, girl, what fantasy world do you live in if you think you're going to go on there, take your shirt off, make these total thirst trap TikToks, and it's only going to be chicks dude, that's not what chicks are into, right? It's going to be gay men, particularly gay men my age.
And that's a problem.
Well, then you get to the other thing too, which you also have, where it's the young gay who's like, why are all these old men sliding into my DMs? And I'm like, girl, who do you think is going to be paying your bills? You think the young ones are going to be, it's almost like advice. I was just giving someone who wanted to move to LA to pursue a show business career. And I was trying to dissuade them, right?
As pretty much everyone does, yeah.
Yeah.
But as they say, closed mouths do not get fed.
Yeah, closed mouths do not get fed. And I was trying to dissuade them, but they were not going to be dissuaded. So I said, listen I'll give you some advice then. Be nice to everyone. But I said, but in particular, be nice to the people who you don't think are important, because you'd be surprised who is someone's assistant, who is someone's, receptionist or whatever. And they wield significantly more power than the attractive TikToker does in terms of what you want to do. And
they are the literal gatekeepers.
They are the literal gatekeepers, and that they have the person in power's ear way more than, because I've seen the people who are like flocking around either famous people or people who are very attractive or TikTok famous, or I'm like, they can't do shit for you. I always remember this story. It's funny what stories stick with you. But I was talking to Mercedes after one of the Vanity Fair parties she'd gone to for the Oscars. I don't know which Oscars, right?
Drop that name, bitch.
Well, no, this is important to the story. And I was like, oh, wasn't she? Ugh, it's awful, right? And she was saying that, it was, I wouldn't call them super famous, but famous people trying to talk to Chris. She was telling me about this, right? And I go, and I remember thinking like, why are they? And so her point why it was awful because she was bored,
invisible, seemingly.
Yeah, exactly.
Ugh, I hate that.
So I said, well, why would XYZ person be trying to get in with Chris? And she said, because these people always need jobs. Like even if they're famous, they always need jobs. They're always trying to guarantee another job. And so they're always trying to network. It never ends. It just never ends. I'm sure there's a certain echelon where it does end, but it just never ends, And I was like, yeah, those people, you'd be surprised at the people you want to know be the most innocuous, invisible people. And they're the person that's the person you want to know. That's the person you want to be friends with.
I think it goes without saying, but even beyond social engineering, I just think you should just flatly, without interest of your own self, just be kind to everyone around you. Maybe kind's a bit far, but certainly be personable and friendly, and at the very fucking least, professional and not rude. Just as people, not as people who may be holding the keys to your future opportunities.
Yes. But I remember, but also just being like, I don't know, you're right. We can get the whole thing. Why don't we take a break? When we come back, we're actually going to talk about these drag queens. By the way, I want the record to show that Robert, before we hit record, was like, I don't know how we're going to fill time with 6 queens.
You know that thing where you get an amazing pair of shoes at a really great price and want to tell everyone about it? Yeah, so do we. Here at Designer Shoe Warehouse, we'll give you something to brag about, like the latest styles from brands you love, or the trends everyone's obsessing over, or shoes that make you feel like, well, you. So go ahead, show off a little. Find shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. Head to your DSW store or DSW.com today. DSW, let us surprise you.
Experience a membership that backs what you're building with American Express Business Platinum. Get 2 times membership rewards points per dollar on eligible purchases in key business categories, as well as on each eligible purchase of $5,000 or more, on up to $2 million in eligible purchases per calendar year. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
And we are back. I want the record to show that only seconds have passed in our lifetime, but Robert said nothing during that silence.
What was I supposed to say?
I don't know. Hi,
Pick
Joe.
at the
How
fact
are
that you
you?
said as always, Robert, and I'm like, it's not as always. I'm actually just doing these Meet the Queens segments.
What? What do you mean? What are you talking about?
You know, when you intro, you're like, you're joined by, as always, the pernicious, persnickety princess of pretense herself, Robert Paul.
Who's Robert Paul?
That's my name.
All right, Dawn. She entered season 16 as the ethereal elf of Brooklyn, instantly setting herself apart with her DIY high-concept looks. She became a key narrator for the season, known for her sharp wit and lovable villain energy in the workroom. While she never secured a challenge win, her consistent high performance carried her all the way to a 6th place finish. She remains a massive fan favorite as she prepares to return for All Stars 11. Is she a fan favorite?
I think among those who like quirky, jerky girlies, maybe.
I remember there was a lot of chatter of people who thought I'd be attracted to Dawn, and I could not be less attracted to her.
She looks like she died from typhoid, quite honestly.
Oh, yeah. I worked really hard to get summaries of my opinions of the queens, condensed and put into a digestible form for me to remember what I thought of them. And a line that I said was given back to me that I said that she looks like one of the mice that helped Cinderella sew her outfit.
Which one?
I don't know. Just an actual mouse. Well, that's a good line. But what I did learn, it's so funny because I would not have known this before I put the transcripts of my shows into a computer. But I remember this now once it reminded me, was Dawn was a wicked villainous person on her season, but she wore this mask of being nice. But behind the scenes, she was engineering and talking shit in the confessionals and just like a really nasty person overall. And I think that's probably why I didn't like her to begin with. But do you remember what your opinion of Dawn was, Robert?
It's actually funny because we just talked about this a few weeks ago back in Rulaska Thoughts.
Yeah.
And I compared her then to Tinkerbell. She, in all of her confessionals, I found it aggravating-ish. She really doesn't get under my skin, honestly, but I can see why others would be aggravated by the behavior of pretending to be cutesy and innocent, saying something rotted, and then giggling and putting the hand over your mouth and being like, oh my God, did I just say that? I'm so bad. It's just like a very irritating affectation and like sort of like way of packaging your shade, and one that I'm hoping that she's kind of dropped. Hopefully she saw herself on TV and has just moved on to the next thing. But one thing that your little ChatGPT summary didn't catch is that she was a part of a group of queens.
It did. It's in the big summary. Yeah, it was her, Q, I believe. I can hear.
Keep talking because I want to see if
I can pull it up.
Correctly predicted what I was going to say.
And they had a name. See, I didn't remember this though, but they had a name. And I have to hold on. I have to pull in Dawn's story arc. Here we go. The villain narrative, creative clashes, snatch game. I don't know. Hold on here for a second. I'd have to look at hardcore. Oh wait, maybe I can just. I can just ask.
Not what I was going to say. Regardless,
let's see what the computer says here. Okay. Let's see here. You know, my problem with Gemini, I'm using Gemini already right now instead of ChatGPT, is it takes a while. Okay, what is it? Oh, Team QDSM?
Is that like a girl groups number?
No, that was
moment?
the girl group one.
You know I don't
The
live
team-
for girl groups on Drag Race.
No, it was the girl group
rule.
one. You know, you have to be very. I'd have to go look, but yes, there were some girls you made an alliance with. Okay, go ahead.
Sure, but that's not what I was referring to. Did you
I'm
have thoughts
telling
on
you that's
that
what you were
before I move
referring
on
to.
to my reference?
Okay.
I think Dawn has some stink on her in the maybe not the general fandom, but definitely the Reddit and Twitter fandom, who are maybe a little bit too like tuned in on things and therefore have opinions that they think are valid, but might actually be distortions of the truth, who could be suffering that experience often. But she was a part of this like social group in Brooklyn, I think sort of led and or spearheaded by JK from Dragula, who when sexual assault allegations pre-seasons were made about Plain Jane, in that instance where there's a video of her sticking her hands down someone's pants, like they were the ones. I think it was like something like Dawn's boyfriend was friends with JK's circle of friends, and they were all sort of amplifying the allegations against Plain Jane, which the person whose pants was, I guess, quote unquote, violated, came forward and said it was consensual, not a problem. So that preseason scandal sort of dissipated. But I don't think some parts and corners of the fandom have forgotten how Dawn was technically in some way like party to that false allegation storm.
No, I remember that scandal, but it didn't come up in my notes because I just had to stick to Drag Race.
Well, I think that when looking at queens coming into All Stars, looking at their scandals and the things that are impacting the fandom's opinion of them are relevant. Like if she's complicit in something that it was, you know, difficult for her castmate and supposed friend to navigate publicly, like I feel like it's worth saying. No,
I agree
we talk
with you,
about
but
them on the show.
I agree with you, but I feel that's a topic we discuss on the Rumor Mill, which is coming back with myself and Nathan Patrick Brown, and that's when we discuss that kind of stuff on the Rumor Mill, where rumors are discussed.
I'll write in with tips.
Call in on speakpipe.com/afterthoughtmedia.
Well, we'll see what Dawn can do on All Stars. I figured that she would probably eventually come into the game, so a bracket system. I'm fine with her being there for at least 3 episodes. I have no strong feelings of her either way.
I could see her being like, was she on the same season as Mistress Isabel Brooks?
No, Mistress Isabel Brooks was 15 and Dawn was 16.
Oh, but I could, she's so villainous and rotted. I could see her playing that kind of game unless she's evolved.
Maybe it's only been a couple years. I remember she got some like comedic reputation for the mini challenge where they're like knocking on the door in from the first episode of season 16, and RuPaul said something about vegans and animals voting, and then RuPaul was like, who are the animals voting for? And all Dawn said was not you, and RuPaul thought that was like the most hilarious thing, and so did there people in the fan base were like, I've loved Dawn, she's so funny. I'm like, that's how low the bar is these
Very
days.
low.
And
any other big
yes.
thoughts on Dawn? I think you know what I'm looking at. Let's talk about that at the end. How we think they're going to fare among these people. But yeah,
sure. Just that I don't think the name Dawn fits her. I think it's named after the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl female protagonist, but it still just doesn't really fit her aesthetic.
Yeah. All right, next we have Morphine Love Dion. She started the season as the body of Miami and ended as the undisputed lip sync assassin. She proved she was more than just a pretty face by delivering a standout performance in Snatch Game as Anna Delvey. After surviving multiple legendary lip syncs, she finished in 5th place, but eventually won 50,000 doulas as the queen of She Done Already Done had hers is. She is now set to bring that Miami heat back to the main stage on All Stars 11. Any thoughts on Morphine Love Dion during her run? How do you think she's going to do here? What do you think, Robert?
I think Morphine had a really interesting arc from the perception of the fan base when in those first couple episodes, everyone was saying about how she looks like she runs a Sephora like the Navy. She had a lot of like sharp, snipey things to say about people, and unfortunately also had like that really annoying young gay kind of like way about her that I think sort of rubbed people the wrong way at the beginning, but she really won people over as the season went on. And I personally like really fucking loved her Latina goth look that she did in the Goth Design Challenge. And obviously her lip syncs are phenomenal. And I'm excited to see what she does now, particularly given that I would say Athena and Juicy were by far my favorite two queens on season 18, which, just finished. And so like, I just have a lot of goodwill for the general Dion dynasty at the moment. And I'm into it. I saw her at the Vegas live show last year or the year before that. I don't know, somewhat recently. And even then, like her confessional, they do these like confessional things on the screens when they're right before they come out to perform. And even then she looked, as the girls say, pickled. But she's looking beautiful now. I lots of good things. I'm excited to see her again.
Oh, I'm really disappointed that in your summary of her run, you didn't mention her car accident.
Oh, that's a good point. Did ChatGPT tell you to say that?
No. I just remembered right now when you said she looked pickled, and I was like, oh, because of her car accident?
Yeah, she did have, I think, some reconstructive surgery after that, because it was, was it a fatal car accident for someone else in the car?
No, she's still alive. Oh, I don't know.
Well, other people, girl.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, that was honestly just awful to read about, for sure. So she's a survivor on top of that.
So, listen, I read what my opinion was over the course of the season. It seemed to follow what you were saying in terms of the fandom. I wasn't a super big fan of hers when the season started. I think I was a little annoyed by her, a little put off, but she definitely won me over as the season progressed. And by the end, I was a big fan. So let's hope she does some good things here on this All-Stars run.
Yeah, and gets to lip sync a few times. I think some more Megan Thee Stallion lip syncs would be fun with her.
Okay, we're going to do a Kyria C. Davenport right now. But before we do, I'm going to tell Robert something here. Why don't we do this? I'll read her season 11 run. We'll talk about that. Then I'll read her All-Star 6 run. We'll talk about that. And then I actually think in this case, they're two very different experiences. And then we'll discuss how we think she'll do on the show. All right. Akira C. Davenport brought the prestige of the Davenport dynasty to season 11, serving pure pageant excellence and an impeccable silhouette. She secured 2 major challenge wins and survived the franchise's first ever 6-way lip sync. Known for stirring the pot with a smile, she twerked her way into the top 4 and delivered an iconic verse in Queens Everywhere. She finished in 3rd/4th place, cementing her status as one of the most polished queens to ever compete. Your thoughts on the run of Akira C. Davenport on season 11?
Well, her run began with, I don't know what was happening in season 11's general aura and vibe, but several of those girls had essays as their entrance lines, like
Mexican guys?
Mexican essays as their entrance lines.
Oh.
No, I hear what you're saying. That's so stupid. She was one of them. Like, she just, I think had like, she spelled out like almost all of Davenport, like phonetically. It just like, it was like a weird, strange, harried half rhyme thing. And so did like Silky and Raja O'Hara. And I find it camp because all of them were walking in with monologues, and I don't know what was about that season. So that was my first impression of her. And as the season went on, I always thought that she was very polished and very beautiful, and definitely, as your summary says, stirred the pot with a smile in a way that I could actually kind of relate to. So I dig the girl.
Oh my God.
I don't know that I've ever seen the superstar in her. I like her a lot, though. And in the Meet the Queens video, she mentions her perception of herself is that she didn't succeed because she was a pageant, perfectly polished type of queen. And I don't think the show was ever really concerned with that storyline with her. You know, it's not like she wasn't funny. It's not like her ass shaking was like some kind of personality breakout moment. Like, she was always down to be silly. So I think she has this warped perception of what she was presenting on the show and what edits she needs to make.
So, based on what I read about me, is that you kind of nailed it, which is I saw her as a very polished pageant queen but there was just something it made it difficult to move the needle for me into being excited for her. Like, I was always like, well, yeah, she's delivering on the goods, but I was never impressed. Like, it was like, I was always like, in particularly, and I think this is where she kind of had it rough. In season 11, she's in a season with a lot of really big personalities. You know, if I remember, that was a very fighty season, right? You had Evie and Raja and Silky, and so I think her very polished pageant way made it tough for her to stand out. And so I never had anything negative to say about her. I was always like, yeah, sure, she's competent, but she didn't have that star power like you were talking about. She didn't have that X factor. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree, especially with your bit about season 11 just having a lot of loud bitches. Like when you're in the room with someone like Silky Nutmeg Ganache, who we'll talk about in future weeks, who doesn't command attention, but instead demands attention, a somewhat more introverted person like Akira seems to be, is probably going to have trouble sticking out. Yeah. But I mean, well, I guess Silky, there's a thing with these season 11 girls where for some reason they just always keep appearing on the same damn seasons together.
Well, what other season 11 girls have appeared on together?
Well, Raja, Akira, and Silky were all on All Star 6, and then Raja was on, and Silky were on Canada versus the World Season 1, which there's been like some minor kerfuffle about how WoW refuses to acknowledge its existence for Silky and Kennedy. And now Silky and Akira are on this season. It just seems clear that a season 11 girl is not going to go on a all-star season without one of their cohorts, basically.
Well, a very fighty season. I think they want to revive that. All right. Now she was in All-Star 6, like you mentioned. And in her return for All-Star 6, Akira showcased a deeply personal side, sharing her journey with gender identity with the world. While her runway looks were more refined than ever, she struggled to find her footing in the All-Stars format and finished in 8th place. She made history by declining the game within a game twist, choosing her own closure over a forced comeback. Now the Dallas legend is back for her third competitive run on All-Stars 11. Do you remember anything about her run on All-Star 6?
Just that it was underwhelming, and not in a judgmental way, but just factually. She, as a finalist, was poised to probably do well in an R-Star season. Most people have R-Star, and she just didn't. She was Prince in that Super Bowl sort of challenge they did, and she, I think, went home that episode, and her runway looks were good, but similarly like lacked a certain kind of oomph quality, so it's just good drag. The conversation about her detransitioning I thought was really interesting, but Drag Race probably can't really handle that level of nuance and depth of conversation. So that's something that I would love to like talk with her about, like at a bar patio at 1 a.m. with a cigarette, you know? Like what was going through your mind when you were trans at the time? I'm just curious. It's not something people talk about ever. So
there are a few queens who have detransitioned. I think Eureka at one point before she was on the show had transitioned, then detransitioned, and I think she's transitioning again.
I think she's oscillated back.
Oh, and then she's detransitioned again?
No, I think she's transitioned again, and then there's some dust up about her being removed from the Madonna event at the Abbey.
Oh, I saw that at the Abbey, yeah.
Yeah, and she said it's because she doesn't fit the aesthetic image of what I don't know. She's a very unreliable narrator, to say the least. But I'm back to Akira. I'm also curious to see how the show's going to treat her, because she basically did, throw up a middle finger to production by saying, yeah, I don't feel like returning for this game within a game nonsense you guys are making us dance for. Literally dance for. So having her come back now is something I didn't entirely expect, because the RuPaul industrial complex does seem to at times hold grudges, but I guess not for her.
It sure does. Yeah, maybe she made amends. One of the things, again, I do all these shows, have very poor memory about things I thought about or things that happened, but it seems like she was just sort of fading in the background on this season too. But one of the things that I clocked was it felt like she was being used as a pawn in production, to sort of like, what did I have here? But anyway, I remember a moment where it said, I was talking about where they were using all kinds of coded language to basically try and get her to act more black. That was essentially the critique. They didn't say that, right? But in some performance she did in All-Star 6. they were critiquing her for let me see. It said that I thought she played the structural role in challenges and holds a scene, and then she got penalized for not being that she was penalized for not being chaotic enough. And there was some sort of critique, I don't have the quote in front of me, where they said something to her, but that I felt it was, sort of a dog whistle to be like, we need you to act more black.
I would not be surprised by this show doing that.
Well, look, here's the deal. That if you do that, it resonates well with RuPaul. She likes that.
Unfortunately,
she likes, and by the way, that's true for any race. If you're Chinese and you act very stereotypical Chinese, or if you're Latino and you put on a mustache and fart out a baby, or what was it during the season 8 mini challenge?
Who the fuck is farting out babies? But you're talking about the hated cha-cha bitch when Thorgy did a unibrow Karita Kahlo thing and just had a seizure and all that. Do we need to start that conversation again? I think not.
Yeah. And what I will say in fairness, it's not like RuPaul's you could say she's racist about other things, but she wants black people to do that too. She likes any kind of minstrelly behavior in any other race, and that just resonates well with her in terms of her sense of humor.
Do you remember that one moment in season 16 when Nymphia did a stereotypical, I don't even know if it was a specific type or nationality of Asian, but she just did a very stereotypical accent, and then the panel was really, really unsure about what to say and how to critique it, and just being unusually cagey about the matter. I guess that's where they draw the line.
With Nymphia, I think, was it Nymphia or was it some other queen where I was like, that's not even, first of all, you're not even that part of that culture, and that's not even the correct thing for that culture. I don't remember what it was. It was just a general pan-Asian stereotype. But I don't remember if it was Nymphia, but it definitely was some Asian queen who did that. And but did RuPaul respond to it or not?
I mostly think Michelle was used as the mouthpiece there, but I could see RuPaul solemnly nodding along. But who knows? One other thing I wanted to say before we move on to the next queen is that I'm looking at storylines that they're seemingly setting up in these brackets, and this is a pretty tenuous thread to weave, but Morphine being known as the body queen or lip syncing to body, and Akira being wasn't her song at the finale all about being the body and ass almighty and all that kind of stuff? Is that a rivalry they're trying to set up? I don't know. Again, very thin line, but I wonder if they'll bring it up.
How do you think she's going to do on this All Stars 11?
I think she'll do well. I think it depends on the challenges that come up.
Does.
As always with these brackets, if there's randomly a snatch game and you're just a look queen, you're kind of just screwed by the hand you're dealt, right?
Yeah. Well, I think they say last year, who knows if they'll repeat this, they saved snatch game for the merge.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I think that's smart.
But if you are a look queen and you have a bunch of comedy challenges that bracket, then you are screwed.
Yeah. And then therein come the conspiracy theories about things being rigged for Ginger Minge, etc.
They were. Just accept it. Accept your privilege, Ginger. Lucky Stars. She burst onto season 17 with a kitschy living cartoon aesthetic that used unconventional materials like expanding foam. Despite a strong start in the talent show, a design challenge mistake led to her shocking elimination in episode 3. I don't know how shocking it was. She became the first pork chop of her season after a loss in the new Badonka Dunk Tank twist. However, a massive Justice for Lucky movement online fueled her rapid return for All Stars 11. There was a massive Justice for Lucky?
No, girl. ChatGPT is hallucinating. Sorry.
This was Gemini.
Whichever. But I'm using it as Kleenex,
Yeah. Listen, this is, if you want to, if there was a reason for me to use this to remind myself of what I thought of people, Lucky Stars was, I couldn't even have told you a fucking thing about Lucky Stars. She was on last season too, right? Yeah.
No.
Season 17.
What? Oh, yes, you meant 17. You meant
I meant that we went before season 18.
Got it.
Listen, so my opinion was, and this is probably true, was that, yeah, she was impressive on her first episode, but what else you got? And that also, this unconventional look thing doesn't seem to do well besides one challenge or two on RuPaul's Drag Race. That's more of a drag. She seemed like more of a Dragula girl than a Drag Race girl. But yeah, that was sort of my take. She wasn't there very long.
I mean, I think her one-time drag mother, Nina Bonina Brown, did well with unconventional materials, which really I think is just code for big-ass pieces of construction paper. It seems to kind of be the central prop there for both of those queens. But I actually really liked Lucky in her brief moment on season 17. I'm not like enamored by her Lemonade talent show number. I think it's very Burger Finger and just whatever. But I thought she had a sense of self-assuredness and confidence and had some quick, quippy confessionals that I enjoyed her. I liked her presence, and I'm also happy that they're bringing first outs into this all-star bracket sort of environment. I think that it is fun to know that I'm going to see someone who people did think that she had potential and more to offer. So now we get the chance to see it.
Go back to Nina Bonina Brown. Yeah, Nina went pretty far, but she also had a strong first episode outing.
Yeah, she
and
won.
Then she sort of fizzled. And I think if you remember, I mean, there were a few episodes, Valentina famously, where the show was actively trying to get rid of her. You know?
Definitely. Yes.
And she lasted longer than the show wanted her to last. And yeah, so I think that kind of queen has a rough time on RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm not guessing she'll do particularly well on this bracket.
Well, maybe they'll throw her a bone and have a construction paper design challenge.
Maybe they will. All right. Mystique Summers Madison brought a raw country girl energy from Bedford Texas to the season 2 workroom. She made history early on by surviving the season's first lip sync with a shocking split. But she is best remembered for her fiery confrontation with Morgan McMichaels. After a controversial country realness look was deemed too pedestrian for the judges, Mystique was sent home in 10th place. Though her run was short, her I'm from Chicago defiance remains one of the most iconic moments in the show's legacy. I mean, you do love yourself a season 2, and you do, Robert, love yourself a Mystique Summers Madison.
Bitch, I'm literally hovering off my stool.
Is this All Stars 11 appearance? Is this? I don't think it'll rival a Jessica Wilde love, but
sure.
Where are we on this?
We are very high estimation. This is my queen. I would declare fealty to her and definitely do whatever I have to do. I quote her endlessly, whether it's like thinking about being in ceramics class and being like, I don't need to fix my mug, bitch, or thinking about how she lost all of her kid pictures in a fire, and then they just slapped a picture of her in that one weird ass mini challenge where she's an adult. Yeah. We're thinking about the immensely deranged explanation about how she didn't want to make fun of real country people because her mom worked in Mexico or on the border of Mexico, and there was a lot of cartel activity at the time, and she didn't want to do anything that might endanger her, while also disappointing the girls back home, because that's what real country realness looks like when you go out. And then also the moment where she's fucking pissed during Untucked, and she's like, can you hear me? I don't want this filmed. To get the camera off my face. I do not want this filmed. Like, she is just an endless font of exactly what I want from Drag Race. And I'm really hoping that she has a Nicole Paige Brooks-esque renaissance. The girl deserves it. Please.
All right.
I live for her.
Look, I love the chaos. I don't know if I had a lot of respect for her actual drag. Maybe she's evolved. Maybe she has some more money. You know, the show has changed significantly since she's been on the show. And so let's see what she does. She's also changed significantly. She lost a great deal of weight. And so let's see what she brings to this show. I mean, she's been gone for so long. I hope the chaos is still there, but the talent has improved.
Yeah.
Is what I'll say.
I would love to see some actual things, like earnest, sincere, like standage of her versus everything being kind of like a post-ironic camp appreciation of her insanity. But I won't exactly hold my breath, but I love her either way. I'm gonna have a great time. I'm really excited to see her back, kind of in the same way that I'm really excited to see Vivacious back. Like, I didn't think those queens were ever gonna come back, and yet here they are.
All right, Morgan McMichaels. She's a true pioneer of the show, making history by winning the very first challenge of season 2. She became an instant icon for her sharp-tongued confrontations and her surgical precision on the main stage. Her lip sync against Sonique remains one of the gold standards for rhythmic performance in Drag Race history. Though she finished in 8th place, her Scottish scandal persona remains a cornerstone of the franchise. Your thought? Because we're going to do two different versions here. She was also in All Stars 3. Which a very short run, but a lot to talk about there. What were your thoughts on Morgan on season 2, Robert?
Have you ever seen that liminal edit of the Snatch Game episode from season 2 where it's just like very awkward music and spacing when she's just like, well, it's not my first one. It's my first game show or something. It's just Morgan's
pink, if I remember.
Yes, Morgan's awkwardness is what I actually really enjoy from her in season 2. Like when she's told in the wedding challenge that she's going to be in the bottom 2 and she just like laughs out loud on stage and RuPaul dead serious. Why are you laughing? And she's just giggling. She's like, I laugh when I get nervous. I find that part of Morgan actually very enjoyable. And I was watching that season before I started going to Mickey's like constantly on Monday nights to see Showgirls, which is frequently hosted by Morgan. And so I had a high estimation of her when I started seeing her in real life. And I enjoyed the character on season 2. I did. I thought that she should have lasted longer. She won the first design challenge, which was the first episode of the season. And I mean, she was then and is still now like a bona fide professional, and you got to respect it.
So what's funny in a weird twist is, yes, I watched season 2 in its first run, but as I mentioned on when we reviewed it, I have no memory of it. Very, very little memory of it. And so in a weird kind of way, my first experience with Morgan for real was recapping with All Stars 3. And then it wasn't until last year where we went to go revisit season 2. And so it's kind of backward. But one of the things that surprised me on season 2 was Morgan is such a presence as an iconic Rue girl that I just assumed she went farther than she did on season 2. I think she only went through 5 episodes, and then she was out. And in my head, she would have been like in the, gone at 5th place position.
Rock and roll, baby.
And so I was really floored that she went as early as she did. And then even we'll talk about in All Stars 3, she went super early in All Stars. So she hasn't really been on that many episodes. And so on season 2, my opinion was I was a little underwhelmed. I think I expected more. I can forgive because, the different show, and all of that. So I'm very curious to see what she brings this season because, why don't we talk about All Stars 3 right now, actually, because I think it's important to this.
It is. I actually have a very different opinion of Morgan from All Stars 3.
Yeah. Morgan's All Stars 3 run was a whirlwind of high-stakes strategy and a historic return to the competition. After being sent home first for her cutthroat honesty, she was brought back by Ben Della Creme in a shocking mid-season twist. She fought her way back to 5th place before being eliminated just before the finale. Now Morgan returns for All Stars 11 to show the world why she is a permanent fixture of the LA drag scene. So, Robert, you said you had some thoughts on her All Stars 3 run.
A bit. It's also reflective of her behavior in season 2, but so she walked in to All Stars 3 saying, I look pretty good for a dead bitch, which is a pretty great entrance line considering her longstanding beef with Tyra Sanchez, who in the midst of said beef posted a picture of Morgan and said RIP, I can't believe I lost a sister, like rest in peace Morgan McMichaels. And people for a brief period of time thought she was dead, and then Morgan followed up with that by having a drag event where she hosted her own funeral in response to that. And I think that's good, fun, excellent drag type of like mentality. But
I feel by the time All Stars 3 came around, it was a kind of an old joke already. It was like, well, what are you talking about? Like, that's done.
I feel like it was within the last calendar year. Maybe.
We'll see. Go ahead.
But things move fast in the current news cycle. But the way that she branded herself is a way that I kind of took issue with her at the beginning of season 2 with the fight with Mystique, which is that Morgan, the character or the person, I don't know which it really is, has to tell everyone that they're a badass and not to be fucked with. They can't just be a badass and implicitly tell everyone they have to be fucked with. And I never really vibe with those personality types. It's like kind of like there are a number of queens throughout the Drag Race history that have this same problem where I'm like, you actually fell a number of levels in my estimation because I think it's really clunky and corny to be like, yeah, I'm such a fucking badass, don't mess with me. And just, no. It's cringe in a unfun way.
Well, we should tell the people the script kind of dances around this and we haven't mentioned it. So what happens is she goes in on All Stars 3 and the first thing she kind of says is, listen, if I have the chance, I'm going to eliminate whoever the top contender is. Like whoever's doing well, I'm getting rid of them if I have the chance. And then that just put an instant target on her back. And so Ben, when she won, got rid of her and she was in the bottom. So that's why she went home first. But she came back. But I mean, how many episodes? There's only 8 episodes or something this season. So how many episodes was she really on total?
In all, both two appearances? She was also on that one episode of season 8 where she popped that ping pong out of her pussy, vagina. Reference to Priscilla.
Also, in reference to what you were talking about, is one of the things you always hear is how she's such a sweetheart as well.
Exactly, and it's such a professional and like a friend to all, and that's why I definitely really respect her because that's real. So why is this TV persona like, look at me, I'm so hard? There's nothing less hard than having to tell everyone that you are.
But that's the thing is, I'm going to draw a parallel to season 18. I think maybe it has something to do with being some sort of impresario in some sort of scene. So if you're a drag impresario, whether you're Athena Love Dion or Morgan McMichaels, where when you have the power to hire and fire people, like your own persona kind of gets lost. I don't know what it is because Athena sort of had a similar, like, I'm going to create this persona of myself. When we never got to really know the real Athena. And by what I'm seeing you is that Morgan, in your eyes, created this tough girl persona, so we didn't get to really know the real Morgan.
Maybe a bit. Maybe that's a part of the frustration. But it's also being so irritated with Mystique Summers Madison in the first 12 minutes of season 2 that she confronts her in the back alleys of the Untucked Lounge. Like having production rush out to the hallways because Morgan has such a, I'm going to address the problem and I don't start drama, I end it. It's like no one asked you to do any of that. But because she has to prove that she's a badass, she has to tell everyone 10 times, I punched a Nazi, which is a great thing. But do you have to say it? Like, do you have to tell everyone if you walked an old lady across the street, look, I'm such a sweet person? Like, no, it's a weird overshare to curate a persona that I just find strangely not enjoyable. But I can look past that because it's clear she's fucking beloved and for good reason. Like she's a great performer.
We also haven't addressed, I wouldn't call it the elephant in the room, but like the obvious thing is that they're doing that thing like, Alyssa and Coco, where they're trying to put Mystique and Morgan on the same. It's gonna be the thing where like, girl, we're friends.
Exactly.
We're over.
We don't bury the
Mystique.
hatch.
I've seen Mystique on the Showgirls lineup so many times, So they're fine. They're good, right? So it's going to be a big nothing.
Yeah. But Morgan was sure to say in the Meet the Queens video that you didn't watch, I would never let her cross me again. Or, something. This is, which I guess that's not actually too bad, really. I think I'm being annoying there.
Only a coward really says those kind of like bold, shitty things about other people when they're not in the room.
That's what I'm saying. It's like people being like, I'm from New York. You don't fuck with me because I'm from New York. I'm like, cool. So you ride the subway. Amazing.
There have been multiple times this episode where Robert is not picking up what I'm dropping.
I picked up exactly what you're putting down, but how often are we going to talk about it? You have yet to prove or cite an example. And if I counter it with evidence and truth, you will just cut the segment as you've done a couple times in recent weeks.
When have I done that? Trying to think. I will say there is this funny thing where every time Robert's called into a show, I have to cut the whole segment.
You cut it.
Yeah, I know. I said I have to cut the whole segment. Oh, yeah. But that would be. We'll talk about it off the air.
Of your own volition. I didn't request it.
Yeah.
Whereas now you're building this narrative that I like to have things slashed from episodes constantly to curate an image.
Because it's dumb.
I think I've only asked for 2 edits this whole year that I've been podcasting
it's about
with you.
I said something about short people. Please take that out because I don't want short people to get mad.
That's not true. Look at I'll release the text, Joe Seats.
Go ahead. But I have something to tell you off the air. I should tell you off the air. But anyway, Morgan, I think she's actually going to do well. And I'm not even saying because, I think Morgan's really talented. I think Morgan knows a lot of people on the show. It's going to be a Ginger type thing, an Alyssa type thing. Where like, bitch, if you want me back, you need to make sure I go at least to the merge.
That's what I'm feeling about Kennedy.
100%.
Yeah.
I'll come back, but you have to guarantee I get to the merge.
I'm happy to see Morgan back. I don't think this is the bracket I'm super juiced about, even though obviously I explode with joy when I think about Mystique. So
I will say I wouldn't be surprised if there are sparks this bracket that we don't know about, because look, we don't know what order they film the brackets in. You know, they exist independently of each other, each bracket. And of course they're going to put their strongest one up first, and they're going to hide the weakest one in the middle. So I think that this first bracket is going to have something interesting that happens.
Hopefully. Well, the weakest bracket in All Stars 10 was definitely the third one. I think the first two brackets so clear in went off pretty well.
But there were fights, though, between like Mistress and like Mistress caused a lot of drama.
Yeah. Yeah, for the new standard of what's considered drama on Drag Race, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway. All right, any other thoughts on this bracket?
I think it's fun.
Do you happen to know who's in bracket 2?
I love a crossover event, you know? All these random years of random histories and random scandals and random rivalries and just random references and bullshit. Like, it's just... I will be, I guess, excited to watch season 19, but I feel like lately I just lock in a little bit more for All Stars because it's just camp.
Do you happen to know who's in bracket 2?
Yeah.
Who?
Crystal Method is one of them. Mm-hmm. Wait, give me 2 seconds because I am going to Google it, because really the only one I straight up remembered was Crystal Method.
Who that you know well you Google it. I was because a lot of the things that you're seeing online in the discussion is like, oh, there's a lot of like first outs and this and that. And I'm like, I was looking at this bracket, like Dawn and Morphine, no matter what I think of them, deserve a place in All Stars. They went very far in their competition. Yeah. Akira went all the way to the end on season 11. Morgan is a legend. She just is. I mean, I guess you can make a case for Mystique and Lucky Stars, but like, sure, why not? Go ahead.
With Mystique on this season, every single queen who didn't win season 2 has now been on an All-Star season, and I love that.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Bracket 2 consists of April Carrion from season 6, Aura Mayari from season 16, my girl Crystal Method from season 12. Regrettably, Selena S. Titties from season 15.
Yeah.
I'll be adjusting my volume for that one. And keep it adjusted for one Silky Nutmeg Ganache from season 12. And then turning it back the fuck up for Vivacious from season 6.
Those are all season 2? Bracket 2?
Bracket 2. And then bracket 3 is, not that you asked, but I'm here, Hershey LaCourgette, who was also a first out. I quite liked her, so I'm excited to see her again.
I have no memory of her. Uh-huh.
She was like inspired by Medea and stuff like that. That's how I was introduced to drag, so I got whatever. Jasmine Kennedy. What's that?
She cooked her children and fed it to somebody?
No, but she does have children, interestingly enough. Jasmine Kennedy from season 14, Joey J from season 13, Kennedy Davenport from season 7, Sam Starr from season 17, and Sugar Cane from season 11. Okay. That's a kind of a stinker bracket, quite honestly, to me.
That's explaining so much to me. I got this message. I'm not going to say, I'll say from who? From Blackstone. And it just said 3. and I was like, it's all. I'm like, I thought it was like a butt dial or something like that. It was just a text message from Blackstone, and it just said 3. And I didn't get it, but now I get it. Okay.
I don't entirely get it, but I think I'm following
Blackstone love this Sam Star. Let me see. Let me go through this third bracket again.
Hershey LaCour-Jete, who I'm sure Blackstone would have some less than savory thoughts about.
Horrible things to say.
Jasmine Kennedy, who I think is
white.
effectively pretty nondescript, so I don't know what Blackstone would have to say.
Very white.
Yeah, that's true. Joey J, who I like. Sorry, spoilers for
Joey
the later
KKK
episode.
or whatever his name was.
Can we give up? No, that was Elliot with 2 T's.
Oh,
Elliot with 3 K's. No, we need to give up the Joey J's gay joke, please. Let's move it along, please. Kennedy Davenport.
Mm-hmm.
What does Blackstone think?
She's black. I'm sure it's not good.
Sam Starr.
He loves her.
And Sugar Cane.
He probably wouldn't be too into her.
Well, remember Sugar Cane's accent in season 11?
No.
Have you never seen the Auntie Chan like parody of it?
No.
It's ridiculous. Just know that we'll talk about it in a few weeks, but that accent in season 11 was ridiculous, and if Blackstone wasn't watching the video but just listening, he may have been fooled about Sugar Cane's race. But she put on her corporate regular voice for this promo.
Well, she's kind of white passing, but I barely remember Sugar Cane. All right. Any other thoughts here, Robert, before we go?
No, well, actually, just as I said, kind of excited for the season. I find All Stars very easy watching, very fun watching. It's silly nonsense. I hope that I can have any kind of passion about it in the way that I do about that TikTok creator we were talking about top of episode. And that's a problem.
We need a week to prepare. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. Be sure to join us this week, actually, as Taylor the Latte Boy and I will discuss, dissect, and deconstruct the brand new episode, the season premiere of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 11. So Roberto Mata and myself.
Sashay away, I guess, until next week. Joe doesn't really like this segment, but I'm going to say it because he expects me to. Bye.
What? Wait, no, bye. What are you talking about?
It's just a ramble, sister.
A text says, "You're on my mind." A bouquet from 1-800-Flowers says, "You're my everything." Heartfelt moments belong in the real world, not just your phone. For 50 years, 1-800-Flowers has helped millions of people make memories that'll last a lifetime with gifts they'll cherish forever. Their expertly curated arrangements and gift baskets shipped nationwide with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't wait for the next big moment. Make it when you visit 1-800-Flowers.com/Spotify today. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/Spotify.